Welcome back, everybody, to Thrive, where I believe you were not created to survive, but to thrive. And if you change yourself, you can change your world. Welcome to our Thrive family. If this is your first time watching or listening, we're so glad that today you are connecting to Thrive. This is a leadership podcast where we talk about leadership, life, lifestyles, try to cover different topics on this so we all become better leaders. And if you have not subscribed yet, I would ask you to please subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. I can't believe we're already over 800 subscribers on Thrive. That's been amazing. Come on, why don't we give a hand clap to that? That's been absolutely incredible. Thank you to everybody that supports our channel, whether you're listening on Apple Music, Spotify, or YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following on whatever streaming platform you listen to Thrive on. It's been amazing. And like I've been telling you, we are working on something for later on this year that I'm really, really excited about. And the goal of this is for all of us to become better leaders. I love what Pastor Craig Groeschel says, that when the leader gets better, everybody else gets better. And so like you, hopefully I'm trying to become a better leader. Hopefully you're trying to become a better leader. Anything I learn, I'm trying to pass it along. Thank you so much for continuing to share all the stories that we put up, the clips that we put up, telling people about Thrive. And let's do this together. We're on a journey together to become better. My name is Alex, and me and my wife get to pastor Calvary Church down here in South Florida, Miami, Florida. And so if this is your first time watching, you're like, okay, what is this about? Me and Diana are pastors of Calvary Church, and you can visit our website and our Instagram and get to know us a little bit. We think it's the best community on the planet, the best church on the planet. We love our team. We love our dream team. We love everybody that comes to Calvary Church. It's been amazing. If you're ever in South Florida, feel free to pass by and visit us. I hope the channel has been helping you. I hope the Leadership Podcast has been helping you. It's already been about a year and some months, maybe like 2-3 months since we actually started this, and it's been cool to see people subscribe. I love to see all the comments, whether on social media, DMs, or on YouTube. Thank you for all the comments. Let us know how this show has helped you. Let us know how Thrive has helped you to thrive, not just to survive. I really believe God created us not to get by. I don't want to have a get by type of mentality. I don't want to have a get by type of attitude when it comes to my work, when it comes to our staff, when it comes to our team. I want to have drive. I want to have ambition, spiritual ambition. I want to have power. I want to have life. And I really believe that when God created us, He created us with that in mind, that we would thrive. Not that life is going to be easy, not that there won't be any challenges, but through the challenges, how can I thrive? I want to thrive on prayer. I want to thrive on faith. I want to thrive in power. I want to thrive in friendships, connections. I want to thrive in every single area of life. I don't want to have a victim mentality. I want to have a victor mentality that through Christ, I can overcome what I am up against. And that's my prayer for you as well. So today, let us know where you're watching from. I think that's pretty cool. Let us know where you're watching from. I meet people week in and week out that tell me they're watching sometimes while they're already getting ready to go to work. Some of them have it on Spotify in the background in traffic. Some of you, as you're getting into the office and people are coming in, you have it in the background. People have told me all kinds of things. Let us know where you're watching from today. What city? Where are you from? Are you here in South Florida, or where around the country are you watching from? Leave us a comment right now. Where are you watching from? Where are you listening to this? Today, we're going to continue. Sometimes I interview some of our pastors or some team members or some of my friends, and we talk about leadership, lifestyles, and all of life. Other times I bring a brief, short leadership just encouragement. That's what today is. This is something I would have shared with our staff. At Calvary, we have people that work full-time at the church. And every once in a while, we have this staff meeting, and I'll bring just some thoughts on my mind. And I actually shared this with our staff not long ago. I was reading through the book of Numbers, and in Numbers chapter 20, you see the story of Moses, where he is asked by the people of God that they need something to drink. They want some water. They are thirsty. They're dying in the desert. And so I've titled this podcast today, Waters of Testing. Waters of Testing. All of us, at one point or another in our life, we will go through waters of testing. There'll be moments in your life where you are tested. There'll be moments in your family where you're tested. There are moments in your marriage where you will be tested. There are moments in your compromise, in your convictions, in your principles, in your morals, where you will be tested. You and I will be tested in life. Life is full of tests. You live long enough and you'll see that a test is coming, or you're in the middle of a test, or you're coming out of a test. But you're always in a test in life. We will be tested. We will be tested in life. And what do you do in these moments where you and I are tested? I was reading through the book of Numbers, and in Numbers chapter 20, the people of God are tested. Moses is tested in his leadership. If you are a leader and you want to thrive as a leader, you have to do well in these tests. You have to perform well in these tests. You can't fail in these tests. Otherwise, you won't be able to thrive, reach another level of leadership. I've been tested time and time again. I know I will continue to be tested time and time again. And my prayer, my hope is that I continue to thrive through the tests, that I continue to thrive through the tough times, through the moments that are challenging. I may need some help. I may need to call a pastor. I may need to call one of my mentors. I may need to call some of my brothers. But I want to thrive and I want to get better, because life is full of tests. I want you to know that today. In fact, why don't you say that? Life is a test. It is a test. Overall, you will be tested. Life is a test. How do I perform in a test? I don't know about you, but growing up, I did not like tests in school. I did not like surprise pop quiz when you got to a class, but that's life. Life is a surprise pop quiz all the time. Life is a test. Somebody's listening today. You're in the middle of a test. Somebody's driving right now. You're listening to Thrive, and you are being tested. Maybe you're being tested in your faith. Maybe you're being tested in your strength. Maybe you're being tested in your capacity. Maybe you're being tested in your patience. Maybe you're being tested in your temperament. Maybe you're being tested in your character. Will you be a leader who thrives? I don't know about you, but I want to thrive. Are you being tested today? Let me know. I'm going through a test. Leave a comment on YouTube. Leave a comment on social media. I'm going through a test. I'm here to tell you, you can be a leader who thrives. As you're going through waters of testing, you can be a leader who thrives. The people of God in the book of Numbers, chapter 20, they are tired. They are exhausted. They've been wandering in the desert. They are mad at Moses because Moses delivered them from Egypt. And instead of being grateful, they're grumbling. They're anxious. They're upset. They're exhausted. And they're saying, Moses, you should have left us in Egypt. Why did you bring us out of here? One of the worst things that can happen when we are in leadership is when people begin to murmur and complain, and that pressure is on you. Did I make a right call? Did I make a right decision? Maybe some of us today were under that pressure. Maybe somebody in your company, maybe somebody in your family, maybe somebody in your church is murmuring or complaining. That's a test. How would you do? How would you perform? How would you react when you're under a test? The people of God are complaining about Moses, and Moses starts to get a little bit irritated. And maybe that's where you're at today. You're irritated at a spouse. You're irritated at your kids. You're irritated at a family member, a brother, a cousin, an uncle. You're irritated at an employee. You're irritated at an employer. You're irritated at a leader, at a pastor. You're irritated at somebody. Somebody's irritated at you. What do we do when we go through these waters of testing? Today, are you being tested? Moses has an opportunity here to either be the leader who thrives or the leader who fails. Listen to me. You can either be the leader who thrives or you can be the leader who fails. Moses, what a moment of testing for Moses. This is an important moment. And I want you to take in the scenery. I want you to take in the moment. Moses is being tested, and little does he know this test was going to actually be the moment where his future was going to be decided. You need to pay attention. I know you may be driving. I know you may be in your kitchen. I know you probably just got to work. Listen for a moment. There are tests that will decide what the next few months of your life will look like. There are tests that will decide what the next few days, months, and years of your life will look like. Not every test has massive consequences, but they all have some sort of consequence. Yeah, I want to make sure I succeed in my test. Because they can predict my future. Moses would fail in this test, and he would be judged greatly by God for it. Listen to what James says. James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. Count it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Count it all joy. James is writing and he says, count it all. Not that your test is going to produce an emotion of joy, but the test is going to make sure you have a conviction of joy. There's a difference between having the emotion. All the tests that I go through don't leave me full of the emotion of joy. There are some tests that are stressful, that are hard, that are difficult, that are discouraging, but doesn't change my conviction. I have joy because I know that through the test, God is doing something in me. Through the test, God is strengthening me. Through the test, I'm getting closer to him. Through the test, I'm hearing him clearer. Through the test, I'm becoming stronger. Through the test, I'm becoming wiser. Count it all joy today. If you're up against a trial, if you're up against a test, let it produce some steadfastness in you. Let it produce some character in you. Count it all joy. Moses, I know you're in the desert. I know the people of God are upset, but I want you to know this. Testing comes not to show God who he is, but testing comes to show us who we are. We already know who God is. We know that God is faithful. We know that God is good. God has not forgotten who he is. God is confident in his character. God is confident in his strength. God is confident in what he can do. He's a good God. He's a faithful God. He's a powerful God. But testing comes to reveal to us the areas of our heart that need work, the areas of our heart that need breakthrough, the areas of our life that need healing. Testing comes to show us where we are. And here we have a water test. The people of God are thirsty. They are in need. And this is a good moment for spiritual inventory. How am I doing? Do I really believe what I say I believe? Am I really the leader that God has called me to be, or the leader that I think that I am? Am I really doing as good as I am? Today is a good day to take some spiritual inventory. How am I doing as a leader? How am I leading my home? How am I leading my life? How am I leading my marriage? How am I leading my kids? How am I leading my small business? Today, take inventory. Let this test be a moment where you take inventory to see how you are doing. Lack of water was a test. Moments of testing. This is Numbers chapter 20, verses 2 through 13. The people of God are complaining. Moses goes up to God and he says, what should I do it? And God tells him to literally speak to a rock, And there it is where God would give water to the people. Numbers chapter 20, verse 8, take the staff and assemble the congregation, you and your brother, and tell the rock before their eyes to yield its water. So you shall bring water out of the rock for them and give the drink to the congregation and their cattle. Listen to this. He's saying, talk to the rock. Moses, I want you to gather the people. And in Numbers chapter 20, verse 8, it says, you take the staff, you bring your brother, bring the people, and it's there before their eyes that you will yield water for them. When you talk to the rock, tell the rock before their eyes. Numbers chapter 20, verse 8 is clear directions. I wanted to talk about that because today I think some of us, we have clear directions, but we're not listening to the voice of God. We're not listening to that direction of God. When you go through the waters of testing, you need to make sure you listen to the voice of God. When you're going through the waters of testing, if you trust in his voice, you'll come out with victory. Today, if you're going through the waters of testing, if you trust his voice, you'll come out on the other side with success. Today, if you are being tested, you're listening to Thrive right now. And if you are being tested, you listen to the voice of God, you will have success. You will have victory. You'll see God on your side, but only if we are listening and are obedient to the voice of God. Moses, instead of being obedient, instead of listening to the voice of God, he absolutely does the opposite. In Numbers chapter 20, verse 12, there it says that God sees that Moses was not faithful. Moses gets angry. Moses gathers the people, and there is where God tested him. And there is where the people failed and Moses failed. The people are complaining. The people are bickering. The people are absolutely mad at God. And in verse 12, it says there, you did not trust in me. Question today, do we trust God? Do we trust God that he's going to provide water in the desert? Do you trust God today that he's for you? Do you really trust God today that he's on your side? Do you really trust God today that he's the God that he says he is? Do you trust that he's the God that can make manna rain down in the desert, rain fall in the middle of a drought? Do you trust that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask, think, or imagine? Or are we complaining? Are we bickering? Are we murmuring? Today, do you trust God? Do you trust that God can do it? You are being tested, and it is in this moment of testing where it will prove and reveal to you what you are made of. Number one, what you are made of. Today, the waters of testing come to prove, number one, what you are made of. I told our staff, what are we made of? What really is inside of us? Oh, that's not proven in good times. That's not proven in the mountaintops. That is proven in the valley. That is proven in the desert. That is proven in the wilderness. The thing about the wilderness is that it can produce bewilderment. And today, if you're going through wilderness, you are being bewildered by life. It is hard to concentrate, but it will show you and reveal to you what you are made of. Come on, when things get rough, when things get hard, when things get tough, oh, it's the tough ones that get up. It's the tough ones that thrive. It's the tough ones that prove I know where my faith is. Today, what are you made of? This was a question I told our staff. What are you made of? Come on, not always is it going to be mountaintops. Not always is it going to be sunny days. Not always is it going to be good results. There's some times where you are going to be tested. You are going to be stretched. Somebody's going to insult you. Somebody's going to betray you. Somebody's going to say something about you. Somebody's going to get upset about you. Somebody's going to say something that hurts your feelings. Somebody's going to do something that you never expected. What are you made of? You want to be a leader who thrives? What are you made of? That is revealed through the waters of testing. I'm not going to curse this moment. I'm going to take a moment to check myself, to have some inventory. What am I made of? I told our dream team, come on, I want a dream team that says, yes, we can. I want a dream team that believes that God is able. I want a dream team, our dream team today at Calvary Church. We have almost over 600 people. It's been absolutely incredible. I believe before the end of the year, we're going to be at 800 people on dream team. But I want a dream team with a yes, I can attitude. Yes, God can do it type of faith. Yes, we're able to take the land in Jesus' name. What am I made of? That's not proven when everything's going well. It's when things are against us. I was listening to a soccer player recently who their team is going through actually a very bad moment. And he says, this is where great leaders are formed. This is where our team is going to be proven. Come on, a great leader doesn't have good times all the time. Through the bad times is where you are proven. What are you made out of? Where's your faith? Today, what are you made out of? Through the waters of testing, make sure that you actually take inventory and that you check your soul, you check your heart, and you get better, not bitter. Moses, what are you made out of? The nation of Israel, what are you made out of? It is in this moment where you start doubting God. Moses is in this moment where you start to disobey God. And we got to be careful. Number two, not only what are we made of, number two, how do you react? How do you react when you go through waters of testing? How do you react? How you react is usually what shows and reveals what you're made out of. How do you react when you go through waters of testing? How do you react when you go through the wilderness? How do you react when everything's going wrong? How do you react? Today, watch your reaction. You can't control your season, but you can control your spirit. I'm going to say that one more time. You usually can't control the season, but you can control the spirit. I want to control my spirit. I want to control how I react. I want to control my temper. I want to control how I speak. I want to control the words that I choose to use. I want to control the way I behave. I want to control the way that I speak to somebody. I want to control my temper, my mind. I want to control my thoughts. I know everything may come at once when I'm being tested, but I'm going to control that. I can't control the spirit. I can't control the season that I'm in. I can't control this wilderness. I can't control this desert, but I can control my spirit. I'm going to trust God. I'm going to have faith. Today, how are you reacting? Maybe this morning you had a blow up. Maybe this morning you and your spouse had a fight. Maybe this morning you and your kids had an argument. Maybe today you had an argument with a coworker. Maybe today you and God had an argument. How are you reacting? How are you reacting to that offense that just happened? How are you reacting to those words that were just said to you? How are you reacting to the way people are treating you? How are you reacting? Are you letting somebody take control of your spirit? Are you letting the enemy take control of your spirit? A good leader says, I'm going to have control of my spirit. Oh, come on. I'm going to have control of my life. I'm going to have control. I'm going to have control. I'm not going to be loose. I'm not going to be loose with my words. I'm not going to be loose with my thoughts. I'm not just going to say the first thing that comes to my mind. I'm telling you, I failed in this before, where it's the reaction that I first gave was at the moment. Over the last few years, like I'm getting better. I'm trying to get better. I'm not just going to give somebody the opportunity to get the best out of me with an offense or a reaction. It's like, no, wait a minute. I'm gathering my thoughts. Oh, come on. He's not giving us a spirit of fear, but he's given us a spirit to have a sound mind. Today, what do you do with a sound mind? I'm keeping my thoughts in control. I'm keeping my life in control. Today, is your life in control? Are your thoughts in control? I'm not saying that you control every thought, but you don't let them linger. Come on, how do you react to life? How do you react to what's going on? Moses, he reacted the wrong way. Moses gathers the people in Numbers chapter 20. After God tells him in verse 8 to speak, he doesn't speak. He hits the rock, the Bible tells us in Numbers chapter 20. He strikes the rock. He was angry at the people. He was upset, and he strikes the rock. Moses in Numbers chapter 20 is absolutely upset. He hits the rock, and there he fails as a leader. There he lets his temper get the best out of him. It is there where Moses begins to show he still has an anger issue he hasn't dealt with. Today, is there an issue you haven't dealt with? Today, is there something in your life that you are still dealing with that you need God to heal? How do you react when life gets tough? How do you react where you're having a moment of trouble? How do you react? Today, what are you made of? How do you react? And number 3, I'll finish with this. Who gets the credit? Who gets the credit? I told our staff, there's going to be mountaintops, there's going to be valleys, there's going to be good times, tough times. But when you get through it, when you are leading through that, who's getting the credit? Is it about you? A good leader knows it is God who gave him the wisdom. It is God who gave him the strength. It is God the one who made it happen. It is God the one who is providing the water. The Bible says in verse number 11, and Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock with his staff twice, and water came out abundantly. And the Lord said to Moses, because you did not believe in me to uphold me as holy before the eyes of the people, now, therefore, you shall not bring this assembly into the land that I have given them. Moses, you failed. Moses, you struck the rock twice. Moses, you didn't give God the credit. You didn't give God the credit. Moses stood up before the people and said, you want us to bring water out of this rock? And hits the rock, strikes the rock. Moses, you're leading absolutely opposite to what God has told you, to the directions that you've been given. What are you made of? How do you react? Who gets the credit? Moses, you weren't bringing water out. Moses, the people were grumbling against God, not you. Just lead well. Do what God has called you to do through the waters of trouble. In your leadership, in my leadership, we will go through moments and waters of trouble. Lead with integrity. Lead with humility. Lead with trust in God. Lead with wisdom. Lead giving God all the glory. Those of us who are leading in a church or a family or a marriage, it's not because we're great. It's not because we're good. It's because God is great. God is the one that's going to lead us through these waters. Moses, it wasn't you. Why are you telling the people you want us to bring water out? Moses, it was never about you. Today I want to tell you, it was never about you. It's never about you. Trust God. God is doing something in your life. A lot of our dream team listens to this, and a lot of them are in small business, or they own big corporations, or they are leading their family or their home, or they work for somebody. Today, are you trusting that God is for you? Come on, I love our Calvary Dream Team. There's people full of faith today. Come on, let's trust. God gets all the credit. Wherever we go, whether you have a massive company or a small business, or you're just an employee somewhere and you're thinking, well, there's nothing I can do. Let your light shine. No matter what position you have. Come on, we've talked about this before. You let your light shine. God gets all the credit. And when God gets the credit, he'll make sure that he gets you through the waters of The waters of trouble, in other words, that's what it means. Today, let's be leaders who thrive. no matter what we're going through, we are going to be leaders who thrive. Today, you can make it. What are you made out of? What's your reaction? And third and finally, who's getting the credit? Give God all the credit. React well. Let the Spirit take control. Lead with a sound mind. And you're made out of character, steadfastness, as God is doing something through the waters of trouble. Today, you can do way more than you think you can because God is on your side. And if God be for you, who can be against you? And always remember, if you change yourself, you can change your world.